Hey, I'm Puck and you're watching Reverse Flash, where today I will be reviewing The Flash mid-season finale, episode 9, The Man in the Yellow Suit. Now this episode is what the entire series has been leading up to, the confrontation and reveal of the Man in the Yellow Suit. Although we don't know what he calls himself, he says that he is the Reverse, so I think it's up to Cisco to give him the name Reverse Flash, because Man in the Yellow Suit is quite a mouthful every time they want to say his name for the rest of the series. We also have few questions answered and even more cliffhangers looming. For example, yes, Ronnie Raymond did survive the explosion, but what had happened to him to become Firestorm? For those of you that haven't read the comic book series, Ronnie Raymond is part of the Firestorm Matrix. This is when people can fuse together, and there is one person that is the driving force and the body, if so to speak, and the other is the mind and uses and can communicate telepathically, and together they are able to transmute matter and molecular structure into other objects, which is quite cool actually. Whether this is going to happen in The Flash, it hasn't been revealed yet, or what effect this is going to have on Caitlin, because after finding out that her fiance is alive and is now a metahuman who can set his own skin on fire. So yeah, that's going to be interesting to find out how that works for them. As for the big moment of the episode, you may have already seen this. If not in the episode, then the pictures on the internet, which show that Harrison Wells has a speed ring, and he can use it to unlock a case containing the Reverse Flash costume in his secret lair. So, does this mean he is the Reverse Flash? Does this mean he is the Reverse Flash? Sorry about that. Let me know what you think in the comment box below, or if you have any suggestions on who he might actually be, put them in the comment box as well. It's been set up for him to look like the Reverse Flash, so whether this is a massive ruse, or if he is actually the speedster in question, we don't actually know, but we've got a pretty good idea here, might be him. Finally, the possibility that there was another speedster in the house that transported Barry to safety when he was a child is a great concept and cliffhanger to leave on, especially as Wells claims there was no recorded metahuman activity before the Star Labs particle accelerator incident. I love how Eddie is getting more action instead of just being Iris's boyfriend. As for the love story between Barry and Iris, it will probably happen if it's following close to the comics, but I secretly hope it doesn't. It's nothing personal against the actress playing Iris, I'm just not very fond of the character. Personally, I do hope that she has a similar story arc to that of Thea or Laurel in Arrow, and grows in a character rather than just stays as the love interest for the rest of the series. That is why I like Felicity and Caitlin. They're strong female characters on their own right, and they have interesting backgrounds, and it's not just hanging over one hero, if that makes any sense. But the best part of the episode is the fights between Firestorm, Barry, and the Reverse Flash. I am loving the special effects that the Flash is using. It's quite similar to that of Smallville in 2001 TV series, when they used it for Bart Allen and Clark Kent's super speed. The Reverse Flash is actually quite cool. This is going to sound morbid, but the way he kills those security guards in the Mercury labs, and then the way he breaks out of a seemingly impossible force field, is actually quite cool. Whether there was an actual power failure to the force field, or if it's an example of a negative speed force playing into effect, I don't know. But either way, it would be awesome. It was pretty awesome. if they do have Harrison Wells turn out to be the Reverse Flash, then the attack he does on Wells in the force field is actually quite fantastic. A version, and a brilliant idea, a version of himself beating up another version of himself close to death. Imagine the paradox in that. There are a few theories I have thought about and probably have no weight against them, but these are a couple of theories. The first is that Harrison Wells potentially is a future version of the Reverse Flash, or is a future version of a specific of a character. Whether this is true or not is quite likely, considering the newspaper and the confirmation that the future will be, and time travel will be playing quite a big part in the Flash TV show later on in the series. A second, less plausible idea is that Harrison Wells has stolen the ability of multiplex when Caitlin created the copy in episode 2, and he created a fully developed clone of himself, which could explain the idea of two people being in the same room at the same time if Wells and the Reverse Flash turned out to be the same person. So yeah, overall I seriously would recommend this episode. The Christmas cliffhanger, as it were, leaves potential for character arcs and stories, which are a really good part of the show, actually. As for the football stadium fight and the idea of two sets of speedsters fighting in the football area at the same time, which I think that's what actually was happening with the two clashing lights in the football stadium. I could be wrong about that, but it would be cool if it was, and that would be alluded to in another episode. But that was just mind-blowing if it was. And these Christmas episodes are usually quite... they sometimes lack in action, or they lack in character development. I think this has managed to do both really quite well. And which is nice to see, because sometimes when they don't have the right balance, it gets a bit, not boring, but less enjoyable to watch, as it were. Now, the Flash won't be on for a couple of weeks. However, we have confirmation that Pied Piper for Trickster and Golden Glider are coming to the Flash, so a lot more brilliant action to come in 2015. As for the full appearance of Mick Rory, aka Heatwave. Now, I'm pretty sure we saw him in Going Rogue with Wentworth Miller at the very end. However, could be wrong about that, but I think it is him. It's too much of a coincidence if it was. But yeah, so thank you very much for watching. If you have any suggestions for videos, please post them in the comments box below, and I hopefully will be able to produce them. Check out the link below to see the blog where you will find the additional Easter eggs for this episode. Also, feel free to subscribe to the latest videos. So, for now, thank you for watching, and stay super!